On This Week in Wabash, we have the pleasure of speaking with Brett Robinson. Brett, nice to have you.
Thanks.
We're going
Appreciate
to talk about Play On. Wabash Area Community Theaters had some exciting news this year with the new building and everything out on South Wabash Street. But another exciting thing is you finally got to do some plays and have a live audience. Before we talk about Play On, let's talk about the one you did just a couple of months ago, kind of a dinner theater. I heard it was tremendous, you and Sammy D.
Yeah, it was. And Sammy, she is absolutely fantastic. That show was called Love Letters,
Yeah.
by A.R. Gurney, and it was a little dinner theater, is a little different type of a show that you would have, because the players is just one man and one woman sitting on a stage, kind of opposite one another a little bit, where they never actually looked at one another. And they're actually reading the letters aloud that they wrote to one another over the course of their lifetime, starting out when they were like 10 years old. And it goes all the way, up until they're, I think in their 50s or 60s, and really wonderfully written, because it has humor in it. And it has also, a little bit of angst, of course, love and, plenty of tension. And, it's great because it goes through that childhood and how children think about it, and then how adolescents think about it, and then how people think about it in their early 20s, and how those two people communicate with one another. It's really a lot about the actual words of the show. So I was really happy to be able to do that. And Sammy D, as you've mentioned, and Jeff Carnegie, they both pulled it off really, really well. I couldn't have been more pleased. It was a great show.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So let's talk about Play On. Speaking of great show, everybody I mentioned that this is the show that's coming, a lot of them have heard about it, seen it already. I get to talk to Madison every once in a while at Madison Walden.
She's a hoot.
At the dog park. She's hilarious. She brings little Hank out there, big Hank. But anyway, we've been talking about this, and they're so excited to be bringing this to Wabash. Let's talk about this play.
Oh, it's really great. It's very interesting to be able to do it as a community theater, because the show itself is about a community theater that is putting on a murder mystery. Mm-hmm. And the murder mystery is written by a local author, and this is her first play. And of course, she's trying to always get it right. So as they're going through their rehearsals, she keeps coming up with new additions. She's coming up with better ideas, even another character that she's trying to add. And of course that, creates some tension, and it's making it very difficult for the community theater to keep up. But as community theaters are, we are always operating on a shoestring budget,
mm-hmm.
So to speak, a lot of the time. So they're happy to do this show because they're getting to do it for free. So they're going to do it, but it keeps changing. And of course, if everything that could go wrong does go wrong, it ends up just being incredibly funny. But the cast has been fantastic to work with. I'm really excited to see how well received it is by the audience. I think they're really going to enjoy it.
Now, you're not directing this one?
Oh no, I'm in it.
You're just directing. In it. You're not and directing.
No, I'm in it and directing it.
Oh, Brett,
that wasn't that wasn't the plan.
Okay.
Originally, I was only directing it, and I had cast, somebody else in the role that I'm in. I actually, not only am I directing this show, but I'm playing the director of the other show.
Oh
and so the lady that I had cast in that part, she had sick father, that she had to take care of, and so she had to drop out. So I just picked up that role, and I'll just play and direct. That's how it's gonna. And luckily, she was playing a director, so that was easy. As a unisex part. It could be either male or female. So I just picked it up. So
that's awesome.
Hopefully we pull it off. I think it's going to be great.
Play On is the Wabash Area Community Theater play this weekend. It's going to be Friday night and Saturday night at 7. Am I right?
Yes, that's right. Friday night and Saturday at 7 p.m. and Sunday at 2 p.m.
Nice, a matinee. Now tell us what stage you're going to be on this weekend.
Yeah, we're going to be at Northfield High School.
Okay.
It's actually, I think they've renovated it recently.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we did a show at Southwood High School a couple of years ago. We did Odd Couple. I know that Northfield and Southwood are basically the same type of building, but I will have to say the Northfield High School auditorium is really nice. I think people will be surprised when they walk in there.
That's awesome. Can I see the script?
Sure.
Can you hold that up for me?
Let me see if you can get it there. It's Play On by Rick Abbott.
Yeah, turn it sideways. Let me see how thick that beauty is.
Oh, it's not too bad there.
Not horrible. Good. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's 3 acts. The first act essentially is it's like takes place like 3 days before the dress rehearsal of the show, and then the second act takes place. It's the actual dress rehearsal of the show, and then the third act is the show itself, in a truncated form. You know that you got to kind of pull off. We're not going to do the whole show on there to show what goes on.
Yeah.
But hopefully we pull it off and the audience understands. Yeah, that was the whole show.
Oh, so okay. I do have to ask you this: is it tough doing a play within a play, or is it just like another play? I mean,
it is. Well, it's absolutely unique, and I will say that it probably is tough, especially for some of our actors who aren't necessarily seasoned or haven't played a lot of different types of roles. There's 10 people in the entire cast. 4 of the players that are in the cast aren't in the show within the show, which is called Murder Most Foul. So 6 of the players that are in the cast play 2 roles. They have to play their normal role, their normal self, you know, and then they play the character that they play in Murder Most Foul. So you'll have somebody plays Henry Benish, and then he's Henry Benish in real life, but when he goes into his acting mode in Murder Most Foul, he becomes Lord Dudley. You know, and so he's got to do both Henry Benish and Lord Dudley, and just so happens that the guy who's playing that role, this is his first speaking part. You know, he's been in some other shows, but this is his first speaking part. You know, and he's doing a pretty good job for the first time around.
That is wonderful. I got to get a little background on you. I usually do that at the beginning of the interview, but I wanted to dive right in. What is your background, Brett?
Well, I did some acting way back in high school. I was in several types of shows, and then I did a little bit of sketch comedy once I graduated when I was in college. Not for very long. Then, you know, I buckled down. I went into the Army. I spent 24 years total in the Army. I retired in 2018, late 2017. And I just jumped into Wabash Area Community Theater from there. So now I just work part-time at the YMCA and, you know, run around the house and do whatever my wife wants.
That's great. Tell me your child situation. I know you had some football players.
Yeah, we got 3 kids. My wife, Brooke Robinson, she's the famous Mrs. Robinson from Wabash High School football games. They seem to announce it all the time. Yeah. Get a kick out of that. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, and I had 2 boys that graduated from Wabash, and they played football. And one of them played basketball. They did a little bit of wrestling also, but football was the main thing for us. And then I have a daughter, Isabel, you know, who's she goes to IPFW now, or actually I should say Purdue Fort Wayne now. They took the Indiana out of it, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah. So that's you're kind of an empty nesters then.
Yeah, we are. You know, so now we get to eat good food.
Yeah, yeah. It's not just beans and crackers, right?
Right.
That's awesome.
Well, you don't have so many mouths to feed. You can actually spend a little more money on some tastier cuisine.
Yeah, that's great. We've been very blessed to have the Robinsons here in our community the last few years, and it's great to talk to
Appreciate
you
it.
about Play On. Yeah, and bringing us some very good talent and helping out maybe some of the newer folks. And we look forward to Play On this weekend, Friday night, Saturday night, 7 o'clock at Northfield High School, and then
Yep.
Sunday afternoon matinee at 2. It's Play On. Looking forward to seeing that this weekend. And again, Brett, we'd love to have you back anytime, man.
All right. Thanks for having me, Wade.
All
Really
right, we'll
appreciate
see
it.
you. All right. Good luck. Or break a leg, right? Is it
That's right.
okay? Not good luck.
All
Break a
right.
leg.